as an SEC guy, you cannot defend the SEC right now. The truth is the truth. I'm a straight shooter. I call it how I see it. And the SEC is not balling. They are not balling. They are not shot calling. The SEC, man, we got some work to do.
What work do they have to do besides just
win?
Light it.
The Triple Option is presented by Wendy's. Join Team Tendies and enjoy a lineup like never before. Crispy, juicy Tendies, now at Wendy's. Time for another edition of the Triple Option presented by our great partners at Wendy's. Let's go, for sure. Let's go to the national championship game. We are down to the final two teams in college football. He's the Hall of Fame head coach, Urban Meyer. Mark Ingram II, Deuce, soon to be a Hall of Fame. Rob Stone. As always, thanks for joining us. Love it when you rate us, subscribe with us, share with us, give us the comments, give us the feedback, whatever it is. We are with you throughout the year. We're not just here during the college football playoffs. We are here throughout the year discussing college football. But right now, the discussion is all about the final two teams, Indiana and Miami. So let's get it going with any given Saturday. And let's begin in Atlanta, where once again, Indiana fans took over another city, right? They did it at the Rose Bowl. They took over LA, Pasadena. It was that crimson and cream everywhere. Same scene in Atlanta. Coach, I know you were there, and you were at the Peach Bowl, A, to see the game, but B, to be honored, having gone into the College Football Hall of Fame. With that honor came a little perk. They let you on the field for about an hour, 45 minutes before kickoff, and you went full coach mode, I understand.
Yeah, we got another honor for the Hall of Fame. And Shelly looked at me and says, "We're done. No more honors. It's over." So I said, "How about one more?" He said, "No more."
One more, man. Keep it running.
So, Mark, I was BTN, and I love those guys. We had a great show, and they gave us about an hour and a half, and I grabbed another Hall of Famer, Haloti Ngata. Do you know him at all, Mark? Yeah.
Yeah, Haloti. Yeah, from
He's
the
a
Ravens
monster.
days. He used to come in the building when we was with the Ravens. So.
And Ryan Yarborough from Wyoming, and we walked around, and I said, "Come with me." And we had all access. So I walked out on the field, said hi to Coach Lanning, and I said, "We have got this is historic. It almost doesn't make sense what's happening in Indiana." So I said, "Let's go." And I acted, I went everywhere. I want to say I was like the head coach. I walked right up to their linebackers, stood right there. I sized them up. I watched them move. I watched their acceleration. Then I went to the corners because they're right by me. I think it was corners, linebackers, safeties. Then I went down the D-line. Then I started wrapping around to the O-line. And then I stood right next to Mendoza as he was warming up with the wideouts. I stood right in the huddle of the wideouts. I listened to what the coach was saying, watching these guys play. And I walked away and I called Todd McShay, and who was our dear friend, and I still think the best draft analyst guy out there. I said, "Tell me again now, which one of these guys are going to be the first rounder, second rounder, third round?" We kind of went through it. And the reason I bring that up, Mark and Rob, is that I think the job of a football coach is to maximize, and I'm not talking about the head coach, all coaches. Your trainer, and this is a lecture I would give my coaching staff and support staff. Our job is to maximize what's in that body and mind. So you have a player. I'm going to use Fernando Mendoza. Whatever in there, you get everything out of him. And I'm telling you, Mark, I have never witnessed a team that is fully maximized. I like to think we did a good job coaching. I imagine Nick Saban did a good job bringing the best out of his teams, and some of these great coaches, Ryan Day and Dan Lanning, et cetera. I'm telling you, what I saw, the wide receiver group, Charlie Becker, Cooper Jr., and Surratt, they are maximized. The way they practiced, the way they warmed up, and then the way they played. Yeah. And then I stood next to Mendoza. There's not a whole lot left in his tank either now. As I watched him warm up, I stood right next to him. I mean,
you said you stood next to Pons, the DB, 5'9"?
Yeah, and
pick six, the biggest.
He's guarding Jeremiah Smith during the playoffs, and he jumps outside right before the snap and stops him on a fade route. And I guess I love the game so much, and I love coaching, and I love players that much. This is absolutely amazing. They put it to Oregon. I went down on the field closely, and I watched, and Oregon was defeated. They were beat, and that's twice in 1 year, Rob. They went to Oregon, and they beat them on a neutral site, you're witnessing one of the greatest phenomena in college football history.
Look at their last 3 victories, Coach. We talked about all season. We talked about all season like, oh, they haven't been tested, or who they haven't been played. Oh, they just beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. They throttled Alabama. Then they throttled Oregon. So you talk about a team being maxed out, playing to the fullest of their potential. That's exactly what Indiana is right now. They are playing to the fullest of their potential. And usually you hear teams that say like, oh, and you keep hearing Fernando Mendoza. He's like, oh, we got to get better. We got to go back to the drawing board. He's excited about the opportunity to play Miami. But this Indiana team, man, is special, man. I don't think we've seen anything like it, man, in recent history.
Mendoza.
And look at this. And look at their following. They took over the Rose Bowl.
90, I'm saying 90+% in that. I'm saying higher than 90%
in Atlanta.
In back-to-back games now, in back-to-back playoff games against Belma and then against Oregon. They are just overtaking the whole stadium. They say Indiana now has the largest living alumni base in the United States. It says surpassing Penn State with over 805,000 alumni worldwide as of late 2025, making a massive network. So they are coming together in droves. And they are taking over to CF college football playoff
that home
right
field advantage is going to be tested in Miami, right?
We going to see
against Miami, but you're going to see a whole lot of crimson and cream there because this is a once in a lifetime event. Yeah. If you're an Indiana fan, you may never see this again. But I would actually push back on that because what Cignetti is building, Coach, right now,
all we see
it's got legs now, right?
It really does.
There's proof of concept here. He is going out and he's done this from year one in Bloomington. He's gone out and he's gotten production, right? He wants productive players, guys who have done it before, and mature talent. What have we seen in the last 2 national champions? They were both in the Big Ten, but Michigan and Ohio State, what were they, Coach?
Experience.
They were mature, experienced teams.
Veteran,
there is a blueprint that has been written in the Big Ten, and Cignetti is on that blueprint, and I think he's adding his own twist to it right now as well.
Yeah. The numbers out there is 45 players, Mark, on their team, and that's over half the guys playing are 4+ years experience. I don't know if I've coached maybe 10 guys.
No,
with
because
4
you
years
guys,
experience.
we were on that accelerated program. Guys were trying to leave in 3 years.
I want to go back. I hate to keep, but I want to hit this again, Mark, because I want to hear think about your teams. Think about your players on those teams if they were maximized. Like I'm going back to when I coached against you, the Julio Jones and the linebackers, your backs you guys had.
Yep.
And you could say they were really good. Were they really maximized? I mean, nothing left. Well, I don't know.
I don't know because boys left to the NFL and got better. You know what I mean?
Know.
So I think you're saying these guys are maxed out to their fullest potential right now.
And I take great pride in evaluating talent. I stood right. I mean, you would have laughed. I mean, they're right here.
Yeah.
I'm watching
the perks of being a Hall of Fame coach. You know what I mean? The perks of being a Hall of Fame coach.
I'm going to talk about these wideouts from. I'm watching Surratt, Becker, and Omar Cooper Jr. I had to hear it. I'm watching this coach the hell out of them. And I'm watching their demeanor and how confident they were. But I'm not seeing Julio.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing A.J. Green. Smith. I'm not seeing Jeremiah Smith. I'm seeing guys that are absolutely maximized, play the game the way they're supposed to play it. They play so damn hard.
Yep.
I get fired up.
So Coach, break down how one maximizes a player. Percentage-wise, it's certain point coaching. The other point is just DNA of that human being.
And I think it's culture. I think that's where the head coach is not coaching that kid. Okay, I watch Cignetti. Cignetti's a CEO. You watch him during a game, but he establishes the culture, and it permeates down to the assistant coaches, and then that permeates into the room. But it's also as a strength coach, the training staff, alignment. So you're going to hear the word alignment, because without alignment, you can't maximize these. This is an absolute case study on how to maximize a player and maximize a team. I was a head coach, for almost 20 years. How many teams were 100%
Not just
maximized?
a head coach either, a Hall of Fame head coach.
But how many of them were absolutely maximized? I don't know. I'm embarrassed. Not like this team. This team is, you're witnessing that when I hear the greatest team in college football history, potentially, there is a plus 473 differential this season. After that, it says the highest ever, Mark.
Mm.
What the hell are we talking about?
A team who
so cool.
We said it. We've been saying it. They're a team full of Mendoza said the best. They're a team full of misfits. They're a team full of misfits, guys who have come together from all over the country, of people who didn't believe in them, and now you get this coach who believes in them, who coaches them hard, establishes this culture, and now you're seeing the effects of that, man. And people have
I was
tried
one
to
of
do
them
it.
to say. I was one of them to say, when's this house of cards going to fall?
Yeah.
There's no house of cards here, boy. This is the foundation. That's why I don't think Indiana's going anywhere. I know
There's
they
no
have
fluke.
a great team.
It's no fluke. And you know why it's
is-
not going nowhere, Coach? Because now he's getting the resources to get the 4-star, the 5-star players that do fit his culture.
Which will be fun to watch if
Yes.
if they have the same mantra
Success.
that a misfit.
Yeah.
You know, that the misfit.
So, Coach, that's an awesome point, because I reflect back the Jay Wright Villanova basketball days when Jay Wright was still in charge. And Jay Wright did it kind of the Kurt Signetti way, right? It was a bunch of 3-star, 4-star guys. It was guys who stuck around, and he would just kind of rotate these guys through, right? All right, now it's your turn. Now it's your turn. When he finally dipped his toes into that 5-star world, it didn't work out. It didn't pan out. Those guys are, for whatever reason, they're different. Sometimes they're great and they can work out culture-wise, but you're right. When you go to that next level of recruiting, and it's going to be hard. That temptation is going to be there,
Sure
Coach, right?
is.
Like, sure.
Sure.
Like, wait, we have 5-star guys now answering our emails and phone calls. That never happened in Bloomington.
You know,
right?
a guy on Mark D'Antonio's staff, the great coach, the Hall of Famer also, that he kind of made a living with the misfits or the 3-stars and made them high draft picks. But then they started winning, went to the Rose Bowl. And this is a guy on the staff told me that. It became a whole different animal when you're getting that 4- and 5-star kid that maybe won't grind like that other. So you're right. This is going to be a really this story is ongoing. Obviously, we got to talk about this other team that they're playing because they're damn good too, Miami. But this story is going to continue.
We talk about Indiana sustaining this. Not only are they winning on the football field right now when it matters most in the college football playoffs, they're winning in the transfer portal at the same damn time.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. They pivoted from that quarterfinal game and jumped right into the portal hours later. What do? They secured their quarterback for next year. Josh Hoover from TCU, one of the best QBs. He's going to fit right in. He puts up huge numbers. He's a guy who was interested in Bloomington years back. They got a stud wide receiver because they know they're going to be thin there. A stud running back from Boston College, BC's leading rusher last year. They refortified the defensive line. They are doing all of this at the same time.
Yeah. And they kept their coordinators.
You hear
their coaching staff.
They're not losing anybody, Coach.
No.
They're not losing
I was
to anybody,
talking to
and they're
Oregon.
not losing anybody internally.
I was with Will Stein before the game and Parker Fleming and, Tosh Lupoy, the defense coordinator. Those guys are gone. And then we were actually talking about managing their, how they were here and how they're – but you can look on the other side, stability, foundation.
But you also talk about Signetti, and you listen to what he says, and people think it's cliche. He talks about a process. He talks about having a plan. He talks about having structure. He talks about having discipline.
No, Mark, he's just talking about cracking open a beer, man. That's all he's talking about. He wants to crack open a cold beer,
after you
man.
have your structure, after you have your process, after you have your discipline, and you whoop ass in a college football semifinal, you deserve whatever your vice is. Go ahead and get it done.
Have yourself a cold one, man.
Whatever
Coach.
your vice is, you
Pour
deserve
yourself
that.
a cold one. I felt it for him when he said that and he smiled. I was like, "Get that man!" I was
you
thinking, I
asking
was
me
like,
all these questions. Where my beer
Where's
at?
where's my beer, man? Like, is he an icy light guy from the Pittsburgh days? What is it that he's cracking
one of them
open?
heavy beer, like the Irish
he's
beer.
he's no IPA.
Genesee Cream Ale.
Yeah, a Jenny Cream Ale, Coach. Out of nowhere, a Jenny Cream Ale. And with that, we move on. Indiana, congratulations. You are off to the college football national championship game. One quick word, Dante Moore, stick around for another year, right? Don't let this be your last college game. Don't let this be the last taste in your mouth. Another year, and I think Dante Moore could be a Heisman Trophy winner.
What if they tell you he's the number 2 quarterback in the draft? He's going to go
I
top
know.
5.
I understand. That's a
What
lot
do you
of
think
money
he does,
and
Mark?
tough.
I mean, if you're a
He's
quarterback,
he's going to be a top 10 pick, don't you think?
gotta
Mark?
go.
It's hard not to.
you
think.
have to
I
go.
know.
You have to go because
I would
you
just
know
like
you
to
wait
see
a
him
year.
stick around.
You
So
wait
many
a year,
things
then the
can
draft
happen to you,
eligible
man.
guys are
I
Manning,
know, Coach.
Saying and others. We'll see, man. That's why Ty
I just
Simpson
hope
left,
if he
I felt.
goes somewhere, he can go sit and learn for a year.
Yeah.
I hate that when they throw the – I did it. You throw that rookie quarterback in there, and it's just, man, you just wish you had some veteran guy in front of him. You know, the Jordan Love learning from
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Green Bay,
Aaron
yeah.
Rodgers learning from
Brett Favre.
number 4, Brett Favre. So that was the perfect way
Well, remember,
for quarterbacks to have great success.
Dante Moore learned from Dylan Gabriel sitting out last year after transferring from UCLA.
Right.
So I think there is, that is in the back of his head.
I think
hey,
he's
this
got a little
worked out well
patience.
for me.
I think Dante Moore.
He has
I don't feel
Yeah.
a kid that's. But I agree with you. You're top 5, top 10. See,
he gets the bigger picture of things. You know, we sat down and talked to him. Very humble, very well spoken, very thoughtful. So you know he's going to make the right decision, the best decision for himself.
And Oregon's a young team. Oregon's a
Yeah.
young team. I think they were maybe a year ahead of schedule, and to get to the semifinals,
What happened to all their damn
This
running
year-
backs, bro? What?
so thin. They got a bunch of defensive
I
guys
turn
running
on
the
there
ball.
like- I'm like, who is running the ball?
Yeah. Yeah,
They were
so-
worried about that before the game.
Watch out for Oregon next year. That's all I'm going to say. A young team, I think a year ahead of schedule. They're going to be back, particularly
Strong
if Dante Moore
foundation.
sticks around.
Yep.
How about the team that a lot of folks didn't think belonged in the college football playoffs? Miami, your number 10 seed, last team in, essentially. And here it is, Miami going to the national championship game for the first time since 2002 for the ACC. First time one of their teams had been in the championship game since Clemson back in 2019. Carson Beck has been a conversation point, Mark, all season long around Miami, right? Kind of sat and watched Georgia win national titles, get to championship games, had his crack, didn't quite live up to the expectations of what is expected of you in Athens, goes to Miami, all the stuff off the field between girlfriends and Lamborghinis and whatnot. And there was always this, which Carson are we going to see? Good Carson, bad Carson. We have seen the best from Carson Beck through the course of these playoffs, Mark.
Yeah, I was one of those guys who was kind of concerned with how Miami was going to be. I thought they would win like 9 games, but the way this team has been playing football as of late, especially, is the reason I believe you win games like that. Tough offensive line, tough defensive line, but then you have a quarterback who you felt like they were protecting him, but last game he put the game on his back. He put the game on his shoulders. He made several third down completions. He used his legs when he had to. He had him in third and manageable. When momentum swung the other way, he had the fortitude, the mental fortitude to stay strong, to stay focused, to be a leader in the huddle, to be a leader on the sidelines. You see all these things that had Carson Beck as a highly touted recruit, as a highly touted person who won 2 SEC championships, who won 2 national championships at Georgia. You saw this guy. You're seeing this guy come to life right now, and he's a huge reason why they were able to defeat Ole Miss, but also why they'll have a chance to win this game against Indiana here at home at the Hard Rock Stadium, about 35 minutes south of me, here in about a week and about what, 11 days, 8 days, 8 days. Yeah. So, man, Carson Beck, we didn't doubt him, but we had our reservations, we had our concerns. But he has answered the call. He has answered the bell. He's worth every penny that Miami has paid him in the portal, and all that Lamborghini, all the twin girlfriends, all that whatever. It don't matter because right now he's balling. He has Miami national championship.
You know, the first 2 playoff wins, they did not lean on him. You know, the A&M and the
Yeah, they
Ohio
kind of protected
State.
him.
Yeah, they really protected him. This one, they let the dog eat, man, and
Yep.
he answered. That was the best drive I've seen him play. I think you said it was a 15-play
15
drive,
plays?
11 runs, and
11 passes, 4 runs. And one of the runs was his touchdown
11
run.
passes,
So
yeah, 11
the ball was in his hands, making decisions, 13 of those plays.
And they were really good throws. A couple of them, he reset his feet and found the second to third look in the progression, things he didn't show. He scrambled on the game winner. So Carson Beck, if he has one more game like this, he's going to make some money. I was worried about him. There was a time where he had as many interceptions as game when I think it was like 14 games and 14 picks. And you can't play quarterback doing that. And they lost 2 games. They lost, I think, is SMU and then Louisville. And then when his guy's on fire with the run game and the dominant, their coach is a line coach, you can tell, Cristobal. Their defense just kicks the ass out of the other opponent offensive line. It's fun to watch, man. This is going to be a great game.
And then they
Great
got
game.
Malachi Tony. I mean, this dude is just a dog. The one-handed catch they called back, because his heel touchdown, I would have just gave it to him, coach. Like,
And then you see him blocking.
bro, yeah.
He sticks his nose right in there.
Yes. Bro, this kid is a football player.
The two
And he's
right
supposed
teams
to
are
be-
playing.
He's supposed to be a senior in high school, coach.
Yeah, the two best teams in the country are playing.
Yep.
They are.
Yep.
They've earned it.
Listen, Miami plays football how you're supposed to play football. They have a tough offensive line. They run the football with Mark Fletcher Jr. and Chamar Brown. And then you have a defensive line who gets after the quarterback. You have guys who play hard. They have dudes that have swagger and are straight dogs. The type of players you would have recruited, coach. The type of players I played with at Bama. They have that swagger, that demeanor that the U has had, that they have been known for in the early 2000s, and they're playing like it right now.
Dictating the game, dictating the tempo, dictating possession. They had it for 41 minutes and 22 seconds against Ole Miss. They were winning on first and second down. But there were some real issues with Miami in that game. Their penalties.
Mistakes.
The penalties and the timing of those penalties.
You can't do that versus Indiana.
The targeting, the personal foul for the late hit. They put themselves in a spot that I don't think they should have been in.
Yeah.
So they can't do that against
They
a
made the game
disciplined team
closer
like
than it
Indiana.
should have been.
Correct. I want to go back to Malachi Toney real quick. True freshman. Only had 8 touches. One of them, a 2-yard punt return. 2 rushes for 11 yards. 5 receptions for 81 yards and that touchdown. So 8 total touches. Is that enough for Malachi Toney in the national championship game against Indiana, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, they just scored a bunch of points against Ole Miss. So I think 8 touches, anytime because it's hard to force a ball anytime you start saying 10, 12, 14, other than handing it to them. Because if you start telling the quarterback or designing plays to force it to a player, that's not good either. So I love the 8 to 10, 12. I'd say 12 is a magic number.
And you got to realize, the impact that he's having. Keelan Marion, the other receiver, 7 catches for 114 yards, 16.3 a pop, a 52-yard touchdown. So now you got extra attention, extra eyes on Malachi Toney, your other receiver opposite side of you. He gets opportunities to capitalize. Your running back, Mark Fletcher, has 22 carries for 133 yards. So his presence on the field is more than just numbers and statistics.
Sure.
It's opening up the entire offense.
And he should still be in high school.
Yeah, he's a senior. He reclassified up. All y'all are reclassifying y'all sons back.
They remind me
of
of
real
our
dog. Reclass him up.
In 2006, we had a team that had an elite defense, bunch of NFL kids at Florida. Offense kind of figuring our way. We had Tebow and Chris Leak rotating. Weren't very good. We're just average on offense, but we hit the stride by the end. Obviously, we won it all. So I see this team. Indiana is the best team in the country, but I think Miami right now is hitting its stride. Obviously. So
You said Indiana is
great.
maxing themselves out, and Miami is playing their best football when it matters most.
Yeah.
So now you got this team that's kind of peaking at the right time, and this team
Because you couldn't
maxed
say
out their
Miami was
potential.
maxed. You
No.
could not have said because Carson wasn't. Carson Beck was not maxed. He maxed out the last week. So
One quick
I'll
theme.
be there,
that is-
boys.
One quick theme.
You'll be
Coach
there?
said
Yeah,
you're going?
I'll be there. BTN.
Oh, that's right. Another big. So,
Hey, so
great,
we gonna hang? We gonna hang or what, Coach? Because I'm gonna be right here. You know what I mean? I got
great
a guest room
segue,
for
Coach.
you.
3rd straight year that a Big Ten team will be in the national championship game. 3rd straight year that an SEC team will
What
not
has happened, Mark?
be in the national championship game. Remember, 5 SEC programs got the invite to the college football playoff. So no SEC team in the national championship game. If you go outside of the playoff picture, their record in bowl games, less than adequate for the SEC. What is your takeaway, Mark? I'll start with you for the SEC when you look back at what transpired this past season for the conference.
Well, you really can't defend the SEC at this point. Like, I'm a guy who really doesn't think bowl games really matter with as much as transfer guys, much of guys opting out. But at the end of the day, it's hard to defend the SEC right now as an SEC guy. You have 3 shots the past 3 years. The way you look in the playoff hasn't been great. Then your bowl game, like, we're just getting dominated. So as an SEC guy, you cannot defend the SEC right now. The best conference in college football is the Big Ten. I said that on Big New Kickoff in front of the whole country, and people hated me for it. But the truth is the truth. I'm a straight shooter. I call it how I see it. Right now, the Big Ten has the last 2 national champions. They have another one in the championship going for a third in a row. And the SEC is not balling. They are not balling. They are not shot calling. So right now, the SEC, man, we got some work to do.
What work do they have to do besides just
win
when it matters? Besides
Win!
that, I mean, that's the obvious. So why aren't they winning? What are they not doing when it matters the most right now? Does this go back to?
The playing field's level now. The playing field's level now. You don't have those those first rounders on third string anymore. You don't have those 5-star All-Americans on third string no more because they're leaving. They're going to other programs like Indiana. They're going to other programs wherever. The playing field is level these days. And if you have an alumni base, if you have the resources, you have the pride to put something towards your NIL program and build a roster, you can compete. You see it with Texas Tech. They're in the playoff. You see it all around. So the playing field is level, and the SEC has to find a way to adjust.
So let's do this. So if you say, what's the variables that make one conference better than the other? Obviously, the one-loss record, but a deeper dive into it, number one is players. So you're going to find out in spring on which rosters are the best because you're going to find out it's called the NFL draft. And it used to be it was so different. You had the SEC, and I forget the numbers. We should have those. And then the Big Ten was way down here. And then the last couple of years it came, but still the SEC's been number one. And the ACC and Big 12 are way down below that. So I'm anxious to see if that's the case, that you're still having these players drafted, then you have to go to the coaches. And right now, which roster of coaches are better? And that's where you're going to say is a Bielema who beat Tennessee and Iowa, Kirk Ferentz who beat Vanderbilt, Indiana with Sig just beating a mess out of Alabama. Do you say Alabama's roster is better than Indiana's? Because probably an NFL draft, Mark, I think it will be.
Yeah.
Then you have to say, okay, let's go to the roster of coaches. So I think there's got to be that's how you get evaluated, whether you like it or not.
Listen, this culture stuff is different, man. It's real. You got to have players that want to play as a team who aren't so concerned about themselves. You know what I mean? Not saying that's the case because I'm not in locker rooms. I don't know. But I remember on the good teams I was on teams who put away their personal agenda aside for the betterment of the team. Obviously, you had your goals, what made you want to drive, what made you give you passion, determination, commitment. You had things individually that you wanted to shoot for, but you didn't let it get in the way of the greater goal of the team. And essentially, the team is what matters. The team. Indiana has a football team. Miami has a football team. The team matters. The team is what's more important.
Let's talk about Iowa. We were at Iowa, big noon kickoff at Iowa State. I thought the team looked bad. I mean, they didn't look good. They didn't play good. I'm talking about Iowa, and they got beat up.
Iowa State.
They lost Iowa State.
What was that, week 2,
watch
Coach?
The coaching. Week 2,
yep.
The coaching, the improvement, the culture, Iowa football, you wake up and they're pushing around Vanderbilt. They almost beat Oregon. They almost beat Indiana. That's how you evaluate culture. In my mind, that's how you evaluate coaches. And that's why Kirk Ferentz is who he is, and that's why Cignetti is who he is.
Yep.
It's phenomenal. Yep. It's phenomenal to watch.
You're not going to play at Iowa if Kirk Ferentz don't like what you bring to the culture. You're not going to play at Indiana if Kirk Cignetti don't like what you bring to the culture. So nothing's above the culture.
Speaking of culture in the Big Ten, coming up in a moment here on the Triple Option presented by Wendy's, the new head coach at Michigan, Kyle Whittingham, will join us. A fun little one-on-one conversation between the two coaches.
Coach
did some heavy lifting in that one, Mark. We're going to make our picks for the national championship game coming up in a bit, but it is now time for the Deuce. Dog of the week, courtesy of the college football playoff semifinals. Mark, who's the dog?
Hey, Coach, man, you know who that dog is, man. We talked about him. It's your boy Carson Beck. People said this, people said that, but your boy is balling at the right time when it matters the most. Sure, 37 attempts, Coach. You talk about they protected him. They ain't protect him this time. They let him go. 37 attempts, 23 completions, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, the game-winning touchdown run. So 3 total touchdowns. And this team, man, Coach, I'm telling you, he had them in the right positions at the right times all game long. 11-19 on third downs, 2 for 2 on fourth downs. Carson Beck is commanding and leading this offense. He's commanding and leading his team. like the player that we all know that he could have been, and he's doing it when it matters the most for the Hurricanes, has them going to the national championship game at home. And Carson Beck, you got one more. You keep playing like this, you're going to be the certified dog.
One more Deuce Dog of the week to come up. Who will it be? Somebody from Indiana, somebody from Miami. That was the fresh take of the week.
The winning team.
There you go. Presented by Wendy's. Join Team Tendies and enjoy a lineup like never before. Crispy, juicy Tendies now at Wendy's. When we come back, Urban goes one-on-one with the new man at the school up north, Michigan head coach Kyle Whittingham.
Light it.
College football not feeling as juicy as it once did? Let me put you on to something that'll shake up your Saturday and every other day of the week, because now that Wendy's has crispy chicken tendies and a powerhouse lineup of new sauces, it's time you transferred to the hottest team in the league.
That's right, Rob. Team Tendies, Wendy's Tendies. They're making their undeniable rookie season one for the books. Enjoy first-string flavor from some five-star recruits. Rep your new favorite team everywhere you go, but make sure to cheer with your mouth closed.
Take it to the end zone of savory sauces like honey barbecue, creamy ranch, and the new Wendy's signature sauce to experience a total taste bud blitz of flavor. It's time to join a team that won't upset you with an upset. Taste the phenom that's gracing the gridiron with its juicy, crispy, and tendery tendencies. Don't fumble the bag. Commit to a team, Tendies, and call the most delicious plays in the playbook. All right, huddle up. Tendies on three. Tendies on three.
One, two, three. Tendies. Let's do this. No rehearsal. Wendy's Chicken Tendies now at participating U.S. Wendy's. FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost every college football game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into even bigger wins.
Ride with the favorite. Take a shot on the underdog or build a parlay. Then apply your profit boost and go for bigger winnings.
FanDuel is the best place to get into the football action all playoff long. And when you win, you'll get paid instantly.
So visit FanDuel.com/triple option to get your college playoff profit boost today. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
All right, Kyle, the block M on your shirt. Great to see you, my friend.
There you go.
Real quick, a couple questions. I know you're busy. I know it's portal season, whatever the hell that means. That's your business, not mine. So I'm going to go back to 1 month, Coach, and that I see, which we talk quite often, and I see your name pop on my phone, and I say, hey, what's up? And you said, hey, I got to tell you something, or I want to ask your opinion on something. I said, what's that? And he said, well, tell me about the Wolverines. And I was like, whoa, I had to sit down for a minute. And but our conversation was really strong. I told you what I thought. And the question I have for you is why? Why'd you do it?
Still got a lot of juice in the tank, man. I had stepped down at Utah. We had a great run there. I wanted to leave on a positive note, so we ended up 10-2, well, 11-2 with the bowl game this year. And I thought, hey, this is a good time to exit. Don't want to overstay my welcome. But again, I felt like I had tons of energy, and there was a handful of schools in the country where if they would have called, I would have been receptive. Michigan was on that list. They called, or somehow them and my agent got together. I'm not sure exactly how it went down, but when I got the word that there was interest, I jumped at that opportunity. That's pretty much the long and short of it.
So you often hear the term "right place at the right time." Here's the Wolverines, a place that I know very well. Growing up as a fan of Bo Schembechler, actually became a friend of his. And you know this, I was a Woody Hayes guy, Earl Bruce guy, and here's a place that is incredible tradition and you know one of the most successful blue blood programs of all time. But the last few years, there's been a lot of chaos, a lot of stuff. I underline stuff that's happened there. The further you dig into it, how much effort on your part will it take to erase this stuff, or is that just a non-factor?
I think it's a non-factor. I mean, we've obviously got to get back on track, and as far as the getting rid of the drama, but as far as the players, I mean, they've handled it well. I mean, it wasn't their fault. They weren't the cause of anything. All they did is kept working through the whole thing. Ended up 9-4 this year. So I think that they're eager, and we got a big team meeting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. to get this thing started. And they want to go back to work. I had a chance to interview every player down at the Bull site. It took me 20 plus hours down at the Bull site in Orlando, and what a great group of young men, high character, all tuned into their academics, knew when they were going to graduate, knew what they were going to do with their degree. Yeah, it's just a great group of guys, and I'm excited to get started with them.
So I'll go back to 2003. I get hired at Utah, and without Kyle Whittingham, there's no chance. First of all, I learned about the culture of Utah, which is a very unique culture. But without you, constantly in my office, I'm in your office. Have you leaned on a former and Eric Jacobson's another one at Utah that really helped me. So have you leaned on a former player or former coach yet that has embraced the Kyle Whittingham program?
Yeah, we kept 3 coaches from the previous staff. I thought it was important to have a bridge between the last staff and our staff, and those 3 guys. Tony Alford, first of all, the running back coach, terrific coach, outstanding recruiter. He's put together maybe the best running back room in the country. I mean, he's a guy that is a proven commodity. And then we had Lou Esposito, defensive tackle coach, who I really hit it off with, and then Kerry Combs, special teams coordinator. So those 3 guys. I've really leaned on them to navigate things and figure things out along the way. But by the same token, I've surrounded myself with guys I know and trust, that I've worked with for, a lot of them 20 plus years.
Yeah, that was our conversation is the first thing I remember saying is, because I got stuck in a situation where you're with a bunch of new coaches that maybe don't exactly believe in the way you go about your business. You got Jay Hill, the defense coordinator. You got Beck, who came with you from Utah, and you got I think Lewis came with you, Lewis Powell, I read. So just tell us about your staff. Tell us about, I know you've been with these guys a long time, but to pick up and move, Jay Hill, to pick up and move from BYU, that was a great get. Jason Beck, I know they wanted him to stay at Utah. Right. Tell us about your staff a little bit.
Yeah, well, first of all, fired up about what they bring to the table. I mean, the offensive staff, we finished 4th in the nation last year in scoring at Utah, and 2nd in rushing, 5th in total. And Jason Beck is the architect of that offense. It's a user-friendly offense. I mean, this day and age with the portal, and you're getting 40, 50 new guys in your team a year, you better have an offense and a defensive scheme that these guys can adapt to really quickly and plug and play type of a situation. And so Jason, everywhere he's been, he's had great success. We brought Micah Simon, the receiver coach, Coy Detmer, the quarterback coach, Jim Harding, who's a real key piece to our staff, our offensive line coach, one of the best offensive line coaches in the country, developed Spencer Fano, who won the Outland Trophy this year. Both his tackles are going to be first rounders. So a lot of familiarity with the offensive staff. Brought my strength staff, Doug Elisaya, and the strength staff from Utah, been with me 21 years. And then, of course, as you mentioned, Jay Hill, who did such a great job for us at Utah before he went over to Weber and resurrected that program. Then he went down to BYU and did a great job coordinating that defense. So guys I trust and believe in all over the place here.
So let's the question that's going to get a lot of hits here. So I used to tell people, when you ask Kyle Whittingham, you played at BYU, and then the rivalry game, I used to call him the team down south. I would tell people, Whittingham's eyes change color when you talk about the BYU game. How much have you You probably haven't had time yet, but I'm sure you're making time. I remember they gave me the book, The Holy War, when I went to Utah to learn about that rivalry, and McBride really cranked that thing up, Coach McBride. What have you done to dig deep into the game?
Well, it's such a national game and has such prominence. I feel like I know it. I've known it for years and years. I mean, it is the game in the country, the biggest rivalry in the country, and so it's not hard to be educated about that when it's been so front and center, really my whole college career. So it doesn't take much studying up on that game to understand what it's all about.
So Bryce Underwood's coming back. I remember watching him in live and in person last year, early in the season. And once they started, they didn't run him the first 2 or 3 games. The third game, I believe it was, they ran him, and I said, it's over now. Now it's over, because you got a freak athlete that can really throw it. But you throw on the tape, week 10 and 11, it's actually not as good as it was early. His development went, in my opinion, and I watched him. I have a lot of respect for that player. What have you seen so far from him? And the skill set's there, but and I'm sure Jason's has spent some time with him. Beck, what happened with his development?
First of all, from what I understand, there was no dedicated quarterback coach working with him on a daily basis, which has to happen.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got a young man, 17 years old. He didn't turn 18 till like mid-season, and so he's a guy that really could have been in high school last year as far as his age. But there's some things in the throwing mechanics and just things to smooth out in his fundamentals and technique, and we're already got a good start on that. And Jason Beck and Coy Detmer, outstanding quarterback developers and coaches. And so we're already going down that path. But you talk about a ton of upside. I mean, Bryce
Oh my
Underwood's
gosh,
got it
yeah.
all. He's 6'4" and 225 plus, and has a cannon arm. And so he's the whole package. We just got to get him refined.
Was it a struggle to keep him, or was he pretty much let's go, man? Or
It
was it?
was pretty much let's go. There was maybe a little hesitation until he got to know me and the rest of the staff. But once he got to know us, it was on a good trajectory from that point. And then he announced, of course, several days ago, and really helped our recruiting when he announced, and it was a stabilizing factor for us.
One last one before I let you go. So this whole world about salary cap, and you're seeing, tell us a little bit about. I mean, I've talked to Coach Day, I've talked to other people, Coach Mullen, the guys I'm real close with, about the salary pool, and that's legit, I guess. And I've heard a lot of comments about they're supposed to have this third party monitor every NIL. They're saying they just approve everything. So are the Wolverines committed to this, and can you go to war with anybody as far as your finances and going after players?
Absolutely. We've had some of our boosters and supporters step up, and we have made a lot of progress in that regard. And you're right. It's a different world. I don't think this model is sustainable. First of all, I think it's got to have a complete overhaul. I mean, it's going to have to turn into a sort of NFL minor league with a salary cap, collective bargaining agreement, players becoming employees. I just don't see any other way around it, because the roster money, I mean, it goes up 15-20% every year, and it's to the point now where it just cannot be sustained.
Last question. So the non-conference schedule, and you have a team playing for a national title that played arguably the worst non-conference in college football history. I think it was Kennesaw State, Old Dominion, and Indiana State. You got the Buckeyes going to Texas week 1. I remember I asked you to sit in the meetings with me and Chris Hill about scheduling, and ours is always big dog, medium dog, little dog. Play a good one, play an average one, and play a team that you should, beat up pretty good. What's your thoughts on that now that it seems like the committee, it doesn't matter. The scheduling doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it seems to mean less and less your non-conference, and I think when you talk about the overhaul that I mentioned, I think you're going to see a super conference develop where they probably just play each other. They don't play anybody but the people at that level, and they'll break away from the NC2A, and they'll have their own commissioner, and so I think that's going to be a thing of the past. But still hang on to, as you mentioned, a game that is a very competitive game, and then a game that you definitely should win, and then a middle of the road game. And so I think that is still probably the best approach right now. But again, I see that changing in the very near future.
So I beat you in a run. You beat me in tennis. We tied in golf. So I'm not going to play again, and I'm not going to run with you again, because that won't happen. Tennis, you're just. So the only chance we have is golf one more time. How's that?
We can go up skiing. I can show you around the ski hill.
That's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Hey, wish you the best, brother, and love you, man. Love you and your family.
Thank you.
Go get them.
Appreciate you, Urban. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Welcome back to the Triple Option presented by Wendy's. Rob, Mark, Urban back here with you. Time now for 3 and Out. Let's talk the transfer portal, guys. Closes on January 16th, except for the players playing in the national championship game. It'll reopen for 5 days after that game. At the time of this recording, there have been over 4,500 FBS players in the portal. That's over 30% of all the players. And one of the most interesting players that has come up in this discussion of the transfer portal is at the University of Washington. Their quarterback, Damon Williams, signed that deal with Washington to stay, and then went and had a meeting with Lane Kiffin and LSU, and then a whole bunch of lawyers started talking and agents left. It was, Mark, it was one of the messiest situations in a brief little window that we've seen in this NIL world.
Committed contract with Washington, but end up talking about you're going to LSU, but then ultimately going back to Washington with a whole bunch of mess in the middle. This is wild. This is
Big old
wild,
mess.
man. Agent severs ties with you. Yeah, man. What are we doing? Coach, what's going on, man? What you think?
I read it, and I know the AD very well at Washington, and it's one of the worst things I've ever heard, and I don't want to overreact. I know people
It's
say,
bad, Coach.
come on, Coach, what do you – it's one of the
You're
worst
not
things
overreacting.
because I love the locker room. I love culture. I love being part of a team, and I know he's invited back or he's going to go back, but – and I saw the statements by Coach Fish and by the athletic director where he can earn his way back. And I just don't know how it got to that. You know, you'd love to somehow find out, say, were his parents involved? Who did this? You know, who you signed a contract and who even started that? How's that start? And what's it like
That
when you
money.
go back in that locker room? But I think, Mark, I hate to, I'm so old school about that, the loyalty to your teammates and all that. I don't know how you come back, but I think it's a much different era. I think they'd love to have him back, and they're willing to move on quickly. I don't know. It's one of the worst things I read.
And we know people
Quickly.
move on in this day and age quickly, right? There'll be a time, there'll be an ugly little stretch, but he needs to go to that locker room.
What do you say,
man
though?
up,
I mean,
right?
Inform me, though.
My bad.
Inform me, though,
My
Stone.
bad.
So they said that he has to earn his way back, or like they welcomed him back? Like, inform me exactly what
No,
happened
they
with
did say
that.
the word earn.
Well, again, words matter, right? So earning your way back, I think that's coach talk of saying, hey, you need to get in
I
there
believe it was
and
in the
dress your
statement from the
teammates
AD and the coach.
and start to win them
It's
back.
to repair. It was pretty tough.
Yeah, which he does. That's
but
fair,
I think in this
right?
day and age, it repairs quickly. There was a time where
Yeah.
I
These
don't think it
cats-
could be repaired.
They'll be
Yeah.
fine by February, is my guess.
Might be fine by next week.
Yo, man,
Sadly.
this is crazy, dog.
Right? If it takes
Hey,
that
man,
long,
I
you're
signed
right,
a deal
Coach.
with you, Coach.
All right.
And then I'm like, wait, no, I'm cold feet. I'm gonna go to LSU, but wait, no, y'all ain't gonna let me because I got the deal. Oh, can I come back? Y'all gonna take me back?
Mm-mm. We're a team, man. The three of us, we're a team. We're the triple option team.
No,
we're
we
going
together.
nowhere. Going nowhere fast.
To the end.
Going nowhere fast. All right. So all this NIL talk got us chatting with our 3 and Out this week. What 3 former players would have absolutely crushed it in this NIL era? Mark, your big 3.
Excluding your boy, the first Heisman Trophy winner, Alabama.
No,
Excluding
I
me?
don't think.
Okay.
Hell yeah, go with it.
Can't vote for yourself.
Excluding
Can't vote for
myself, the
yourself.
first Heisman Trophy winner at the University of Alabama. Excluding myself, I gotta go with Reggie Bush. Would have just
Destroyed
been.
it.
Yeah, he would have killed it. You're talking about one of the best college football players ever in the history of the game in LA. The man already had it. So if he could have had the money, he would have triple, quadruple, 5 times had it. So I got to go Reggie Bush. And then I got to go take it to my boy, Scam Newton. You think that dude, he played for Coach down there in Florida. He what he did at Auburn, taking them undefeated, the personality that he had, the player he was, if he would have went to the portal, he would have commanded $10 million. You know what I mean? So NIL, I'm gonna go Reggie Bush, I'm gonna go Scam Newton, and then I'm gonna go Johnny Football. I'm gonna go Johnny Manziel at A&M. That year he had, and he won the Heisman. He had to come back another year. His NIL funds would have been off the charts. And I wouldn't dive into coach's list, but I know he got one that would have made that heavy pay. But that's my 3.
All right, Coach, your big 3 former players that have cashed in this NIL era, and I bet you're going to start.
I'm going to focus on former players, like you said. Number 1 is Tim would have set the record for
100%.
The amount of money that he earned. Tim is probably gave it most away to charity and his foundation. But Tim would have been by far number 1. I'm going to throw a name at you, number 2, because I witnessed it. And Columbus, Ohio is so nuts about their players. I'm going to throw Cardale Jones out there. He would have broke the bank big time. And my third one, I was going to be between Braxton Miller and Zeke. I would say Zeke Elliott, just again because he won a national title. And I saw what happened when he did. So those are my 3, Tebow, Cardale Jones, and Zeke.
All great ones. I am committed to naming somebody you guys have not named already.
You wait.
So
you wait.
Of course,
and
that's how I do it,
Here
right?
we go.
Do what you do.
Here we go. So number 1, I'm going back with my first couple picks. Bo Jackson.
Well, they
Herschel
didn't have the
Walker.
type of money
Oh.
back then that they do now.
Well, he would have had NIL money for baseball and football, right?
And they say
Killer name,
Deion too
killer
then.
look, incredible numbers. Just
You gotta say
bring me the
Deion
check.
too then.
Bring me the check. Deion Sanders in there as well. You're playing my game, Mark. This is perfect. Brian Bosworth.
Now you got
Are
to say
kidding
Charlie
me?
Ward.
Charlie Ward. How about Keyshawn Johnson?
Sure.
Keyshawn Johnson in Southern Cal would have cleaned up. Randy Moss, even though he was playing at Marshall, Randy Moss was a
Randy
national
Moss would have been in the portal
when he
'cause
was
some
playing.
one of them other teams would have gave him $17 million.
He would have been in the portal like every other week. Every other week, somebody be knocking on his door. Let's keep playing this. Warren Sapp would have cleaned up. Trevor Lawrence, Michael Vick, VY.
Oh, Vince
Just
Young.
some
Oh my
incredible
goodness.
names.
Yeah.
Ricky
VY.
Williams.
Right? Ricky. I mean, we could go on and on. This is crazy, but I think I agree with you. I think Reggie Bush would have been number 1 on an
I think
elite,
it all goes to
elite
your
list.
era. You know what I mean? What you was watching. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. So regardless, and we didn't even give Matt Lyon
Matty
a
would have
vote.
cleaned up.
Matty
Oh,
Ice would have
Matty?
done just fine. Matty, listen, Matt did all right in hot tubs.
Brady
He
would
done
have
all right
crushed
in
it, too,
NIL
now.
world
Brady
as
would have
well. Give
killed
himself
it.
a nice little hot tub deal.
Hey,
Brady?
Guston?
We could do this all day. We could do this all day. Time now for 2-minute drill, brought to you by FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/triple option to download the app and take advantage of a 50% profit boost today. All right, college football playoff championship game in Miami on Monday. Number 1, Indiana. Number 10, Miami. Hoosiers. Hoosiers favored by 7.5. By the way, I love what Coach Signetti does it. Every time he's given a live microphone in the stadium, he barks out the Hoosier chant to his fans. So
Hoosiers.
and then he walks away. That's like his good night, everybody. Tip of the cap. Hoosiers favored by 7.5. Over under, Mark, which I know intrigues you, 48.5. How do you see it, Mark?
Listen, man, I'm excited to watch this game, dog, because we already talked about it. You got Indiana, who has maxed out their potential. They are playing lights out offensively. Fernando Mendoza, the way he commands the offense, he had more touchdowns than incompletions. We already said that. The way he is processing the game, the way he is putting his team in position to win, the way he's using his legs when he needs to, this team is going to be tough to beat. Defensively, they play extremely disciplined. They stop the run. They get after the passer. Their secondary can go. You talk about a secondary who can play ball, who's on the same page, they can go. I think this Indiana team, they're the best team in college right now. But Miami, how they play the game, they run the football, they have a tough offensive line, they protect the quarterback, they have a defensive line who can get after the quarterback. So Fernando Mendoza is Akeem Messidor going to be healthy. Reuben Bain Jr., we know how he gets after the quarterback. Got 2 interior D linemen. This team right here, they had little nickups in the secondary. But right now, I think I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take the 7.5 points. Indiana has been stomping the dog piss out of everybody they played in the playoff. But I'm going to take the 7.5 points. I think this is going to be a closer game than we think. I do think Indiana wins the game, but I am going to take those 7.5 points that they're giving me, and I'm going to bet with Miami Hurricanes to take the points. So I'm going to take the points. I think Indiana's going to win outright, but I do think Miami is going to play this game tough and closer than everybody thinks, and that's why I'm taking the points.
Coach, what's it like managing a team that week leading into a national championship game?
Yeah, we did it 3 times, and it's an out of body experience because you think of all the you try to focus on. I remember staring at my game plan sheet and staring at practice schedules because everything else is overwhelming. And as a coach, that's all you wanted to. And I would try to protect my players from all the media and all the I've never obviously been to the Super Bowl, and I don't think Mark you went either because they say it's just insanity. But those are grown ass men. I was always worried about the young kids, the young guys that. We're in it because it's college football Super Bowl. I'm going to go. I go back and forth on this, but I witnessed what I witnessed. I'm going to say Indiana will cover at the end. I think Miami's going to play their ass off. I'd go under 2. They're not going to. It's going to be a low scoring game.
Yeah,
and unless Miami makes some mistakes like they made last week, they're going to be right there at the end of the game. But I think Indiana wins by 9. 8-9. I think Vegas is right on the point spread, but I think Miami plays their ass off at home.
What you got, Stoner?
Walk-off field goal. Walk-off
taking
field
the
goal.
Points.
24-21.
That's what I got.
Indiana.
That's what I got. The under.
I
got the under, and I'm taking the points.
We've seen some amazing field goal kicking and players handling
Carson
pressure.
Beck take care of that ball, man.
It depends on what games you've been watching.
Carson Beck take care of that ball, man.
Well,
because if you watch the Packers, you're
yeah, I did not watch the Packers.
It depends on what games you've been watching.
Extra point and field goals, yes. No, I've been watching college football, man. That's my focus,
we love
man.
college football,
My
but guess
focus
what
on
we really
college
love?
football.
We love football. So we do. I'm watching flag football Friday night. You know what I mean?
All right, so all 3 of us have Indiana winning their first national
Well, me and you took
title.
the points.
Yeah.
And
Careful,
coach is
though.
laying
That
the
always
points.
scares me when so many people are pushing in that direction. Because what Miami's been able to do as a 10 seed, they've surprised a lot of people
at home
already.
too. But guess what, Stone? They're at home, but they in the away locker room. How that's going? How you like
They
those
are.
apples?
We'll see how much of a road team they really are. We'll see. There's going to be a whole lot of crimson and cream in South Florida. Make sure to follow, subscribe, rate us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We are on social media. You can find us at 3X Option Show. We love our sponsors, FanDuel, Wendy's. Thank you, and enjoy the national championship game. And we will see you right after we crown our next college football national champion.